Well, gentlemen, you had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
Every second, we are bombarded with information. We juggle and prioritize, sorting through thousands of pieces of data to make decisions and manage our environment. I'm Jamie Lincoln, and I'll be your host as we explore the world of attention, retention, magic, and its relationship to learning. Welcome to Cerebral 7, Attention. Learning and attention work together. Learning is memorizing, integrating, and applying new information and concepts. Attention is how we prioritize and apply this newly acquired knowledge.
There are constantly streams of information coming at us all the time. Our brain can only take in so much. So essentially what our brain is constantly trying to do when it comes to attention is figure out what to pay attention to and what information to filter out. So when we think about how our brain prioritizes what it's going to pay attention to, we can think of a little short acronym, EMMT. Anything that has emotion tied to it, meaning, or it has an importance to us, depending on how many other things we're multitasking, and then the timing in which we are being asked to pay attention. Our brain isn't able to just work on nothing. It needs energy, it needs sugar, it needs all of that good stuff. So timing becomes really critical. We only have so much willpower when it comes to focusing our attention.
But attention is flexible. Magicians use misdirection to divert the spectator's focus and challenge expectations.
Creating that moment of awe, there's so many elements involved, and one of the biggest elements is misdirection. Misdirection in general, when it's taught from a small move, large move, body language, focus. So when the entertainer is doing something involving a prop, the smaller action would be avoided, the larger action would be brought forward. So for instance, if I was to take my ring and put it in my hand and squeeze it like this, that's all misdirection based, right?
Right, because I'm looking at that hand.
And so am I. So the small action is, obviously I'm retaining the ring and I'm bringing it down here, but when I do this, I just drop it naturally. I even let my arm swing a little bit, so I do this, but this whole time, smaller action, larger action, my whole body's following this action. I create magical gestures, and that right there is misdirection. Everything you just saw there is misdirection.
So what happened when we put Bobby and Sarah together and asked them about this topic?
We love to think that we can have a lot of attention and multitask doing different things. The brain doesn't do that well. Human beings don't do that well. And in fact, we are easily manipulated.
That whole thing that I'm doing with capturing them with the story is so that their attention's fully on me while something else is being done, right? So it's being able to do that with your tone, with your body language, with character, with charisma, and everything else is happening underneath.
It's interesting. Our brains are good at focusing, but they focus like a spotlight. Take our attention out of that spotlight and we miss what's going on in the periphery.
Or you can actually look at the periphery and see that that's where it lies, because remember when I was having you focus on my eyes and I did this?
Yeah.
And I said, what number are you thinking of? And you said 3. You had no idea why you were thinking of 3.
Well, and I'm laughing because if we think about how to translate this back from a learning perspective, we bring this back into the world of why we're actually doing this experiment. This knowledge, there's power with that, and it can be used to the dark side. So we can manipulate people different ways, but I think what it also tells us is that perhaps there are things that we can help them build their awareness, focus in on what needs to be learned by what we put in the periphery in the environment. So we can use it for good, or we can use it to trick people.
This experiment is all about attention and retention. Are you ready to take on this challenge? Because today is going to be magical.